Cradled in a crook of the Chianthar and often swaddled in mist, Baldur's Gate clings tight to the granite bluffs that channel the river. Trade nursed the city grew from pirate's port to farmer's fort to the bustling urban center that it is today. Generations have worn smooth the cobbles of its narrow streets, and tens of thousands have lived their entire lives in the long shadows of its walls. The city's stone is soaked in the blood of acclaimed heroes and terrible villains. Alongside and atop such chains, nobles and commoners, rich and poor, have lazed in sweat, ruled and bled, as they've played out the stories of their lives, making Baldur's Gate a place of history and a home to legends. And with that, welcome to the third, yes, the third. We've done 3 episodes now. This is number 3 of Dapper DnD's Descent into Avernus. I'm your Dungeon Master, Stretch Smith, the fabulous 4 above me, the ever dapper Bill Briley, playing the lovable Filmer Toggle Sprocket. He's not a knight, but he's quite all right, Sir Elliot Herbert, playing the barbarian Samson. The man behind the production, my right-hand guy here, Mr. Cole McGinley, playing the mysterious Rylan Redgrave.
So many buttons to press.
So many. And the most well-traveled of our whole group, and about to embark on a new journey again, Katie, playing the role of the strong-willed Eleanora. What dapper disaster awaits today? What kind of devious debauchery should we prepare for? What devilish deals and deadly desires will we find as we continue our descent into Avernus? As the group ventures deep into the darkness underground beneath the bathhouse that they found, Rylan begins to think of what he'd be writing tonight so far.
We went to a bathhouse, and after everyone got done harassing the regular clientele to the point of emptying the entire establishment, of all people other than us and employees, we tried talking to the masseuses, Camilla and Jabaz. We learned a few things from them, such as the name of the owner of the bathhouse, Duke Thalmar van Thampa, and about her son, Mortlock. We eventually left the establishment, but as we did, Camilla and Jabaz chased after us, and told us how they were not permitted on the premises after nightfall. They told us they've seen suspicious cult-like people in the area after being there when they shouldn't be a time before. We went to investigate at night, and found ourselves in a new heap of trouble. Many shadowy figures were in the bathhouse, and could move at an almost unnatural speed. A mage appeared during the fight, and after Eleanora took him down, I was able to examine him. He was using a skull as his magical focus. I can determine with some confidence that he was a necromite in worship to Merkel, one of the dead 3. We proceeded to the back and found a secret doorway, and began to descend into the darkness, and eventually the murky waters below. And that's a recap.
So, as Ryland had said, they did descend into the darkness, choosing to forego torches and lighting. These damp, murky, humid corridors, ceilings 9, maybe 8 feet tall, braced with wooden beams. It's all limestone and it's very, not slippery, but it's uneven footing. Forgoing the light, a couple of our adventurers can't quite see where they're going. So there's a unique solution that our party has come up with to get through this.
Code Master Blaster, if you will.
Eleanora has chosen to take the front of the party, followed closely behind by Mr. Ryland, holding on to her satchel, I'm guessing? Or are you behind Samson? I don't remember.
I cannot remember. I think Fillmore is on Samson's back, and I'm holding on to Fillmore's backpack.
That's right. Yeah, it's at eye level for you now. That's right.
So if 2 physical entities, one made up by one person and the other made up by 3, but it's, we're getting there.
So Samson is, I'm assuming, holding on to some part of Eleanor, or no? Just letting her walk ahead.
Guiding him.
He's actually
Fillmore's being his eyes.
Fillmore's like Ratatouille.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not a good idea.
It's a terrible idea.
Samson, if that's the
We
case,
got this.
I need you to please make a dexterity check.
know
And
what?
Fillmore, I need you to please make a sleight of hand check to.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I want you to make a flat dex check, Samson, and then you to make a sleight of hand check.
I got a 13. I was hoping to fail just so we can maybe change up the plan.
Bill, what'd you get?
2.
So as you guys start walking down,
Oh no.
you make your way towards the first corridor, and Eleanora, you do notice that it's about to start curving. You hear behind you as Samson thuds into the wall directly in front of him. Phil also face plants slightly into the wall. Any reaction, you two?
All right,
I told you I was gonna
I
start
throw Fillmore
counting.
off, and I pull out my torch. I'm ready to light it.
Okay, but if you pull your torch out, can you just stick like a couple feet behind me?
Sure.
All right.
All right, yeah, and you light your torch. The room that you're in starts to fill with a little bit of light. It's a dim light, but it's got this orange, ominous glow reflecting off the water. You're in a, let's call it 30 by 15 room. Like I said, the ceilings are about 10 foot high. You see wooden braces kind of allowing it to kind of hold its shape. On either end of the southern side of the room, there is a path leading downward, and you guys are proceeding to down the one on the east. The water is about 2 feet high, and you see the reflection kind of shimmering off it, but the light's not overly bright in this darkness. And Leonora, it takes your sight from a very dim, almost blue gray, up to more of a red, kind of matching what everyone else is kind of seeing there. You're seeing a little bit better than everyone else, same as you, Phil, but that's generally what you guys are seeing. You guys going to press forward down that corridor?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
All right.
All right.
Let me remember how to reveal an area. Thank you. Sorry. And as you guys round the first bend, you continue splashing through the water. There's a slight sound to it, but you're taking general precaution. You're all being generally easy in your steps. You notice a stairwell that seems to rise out of the water with another curve leading further south.
I pause at the foot of the stairwell and just see if I can hear anything coming from above.
Sure, give me a perception check.
I think that makes it a 6.
All right. As you're listening, there's no sound other than the drips, the casual, of the water hitting the ground. There's no strange voices. You're not hearing any echoes of anything. But you listen very carefully, and it seems to be eerily quiet more than anything else. It feels very still with this humid air around you.
Sweet. Keep moving.
Keep on moving.
All right. You guys head further down. You round the bend. As you walk your way up the stairs, you come to a door. You walk down the hallway, and you eventually come to this first doorway. It is closed. It is made of stone. It is a normal-sized man door, about 6 foot tall. There's a wooden frame bracing it, as well as the stone ledge. Nothing ornate about the door. No markings on it that you can plainly see.
Is it a push door or a pull door?
Do you want to push or pull it to find out?
I would pull it.
And with ease, you pull it open. as you open it, you find yourself in another room. This one with two other doors, one leading to the east and one leading south. There's another path, no door, heading the other direction. Each of the doors has markings on it. The first one, bear with me here, I'm sorry. The northern door, the one you walked in, has a powerfully built skull-headed man with long carved blades where his hands should be. The eastern door, as you look at that, bears a carving of a tall armored man wearing a bucket helm. His right gauntlet is painted black and he clutches a set of shackles. And the southern door, Ryland, you notice this one immediately. It bears a carving of Merkel, the Lord of Bones. He portrays a cloaked figure whose face is hidden under a cowl. In his skeletal hands, he clutches a screaming human skull.
Well, it's my best guess that these are depictions of the Dead Three. We will probably find challenges or, I don't know, artifacts related to each beyond. That's just an assumption, though.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
This whole thing
Do we
is
go left?
so creepy.
Let's go left.
Why not?
Lord of Bones, and I just.
I mean, Lord of Bones is the one that I'm familiar with. If we think that might give us some
There
sort of
we go, we got-
advantage.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
No, we don't have to go near that. That's okay.
Okay, well, we could always go.
It's not
we
creepy
could just
sounding. That's all.
go to the go straight ahead. Oh wait, no, to the right. Where's the one that we killed?
The one that you walked through is the top door, the northern door.
Okay. So we already killed that dude. Damn.
Maybe.
We
Maybe.
killed a dude that represents him.
Oh.
Maybe.
Champion.
shit.
I mean, he's just a random dude likes to dress up.
Look at this dude.
Could have been.
Well then, if he was dressed up, then maybe the people behind the other doors would be dressed up too.
I'm
The entire time that we're going, as soon as Samson lit a torch, Fillmore's gonna be watching behind us. Like super nervous, definitely way out of his realm of comfortability. But
Okay.
trying to, I guess, watch the six every now
Roll
and then.
me a perception check and just remind me what you rolled. So keep a note of that.
So 17 plus 5, so 22.
Okay.
I'll write it down.
Yeah, I'll make a note of it as well. All right.
Well,
So which door?
I'm sure
which
there'll be a
path?
fight waiting for us on the other side of either of these doors, so I don't know if it matters that much.
And I agree with you that time. I'd rather not, but I agree.
Sweet. Can we push on? And she Eleanor's gonna go up to the door and put her hand on it and test it to see if it's push door or pull door.
Okay. Which door?
Bones?
Yeah.
The southern door, the Lord of Bones.
Bones door.
Okay. Sorry, I have a lot of tabs open here. All right, so you guys open that door. In this room, you walk in, and it's a 15 by 15 square room with a path leading out to your right to the western side of the room, and you look around. Lying on the floor of this otherwise empty room are the pale bodies of 3 humans in filthy black robes, arranged in a triangular formation. A lit torch lies between them. A rough-hewn staircase to the left leads down another torchlit chamber. That'd be to the west.
Free
These are
torch.
just like corpses. I'm gonna poke one with my stick.
All right.
Yeah, stick poke.
Sure thing. So, I need you to roll initiative.
Oh,
Fuck.
Now imagine if he didn't poke it with a stick.
Give him the stick. No, don't give him
Oh,
the stick.
baby.
Fuck. 19.
Interesting.
Unnatural 20.
Fuck yeah.
19.
Who has the higher dex?
Probably not me.
Mine's +2.
+1.
Okay.
I got 4.
Phil O's
He's
coming
so
clutch.
uninterested in fighting.
I was like, ooh, 4. Give me a plus something. No, +0.
All right. And... yeah. So as you guys are watching Eleanora walk up, Eleanora walk over, and one of these 3 bodies, the closest one to the door, you begin to start to poke it with your staff. You know, the only stick you have in hand, and you reach down and you poke it, and just as you do, these 3 older white-haired gentlemen spring up. Their tattered robes, reminiscent of the one you ran into upstairs. All 3 clutching these skulls with glowing blue eyes, and they, depiction of a carved-in center of the skull. The first one kind of just yells like, "Ah, gotcha!" And the other 2 just stand there with their hand up, almost ready to recite some incantation, and holding their skulls up. Samson, you see this going on, and what do? You see these 3 pop up.
I'm gonna try and slash him.
Which one? I'm gonna run up to the closest one.
Yeah,
That's
closest
in
one.
Eleanor's choice. Okay. I need you to roll to hit.
Does a 10 hit?
You bring your sword up, and because he was still kind of making his way to his feet, you go to slash down into his cloak, and you slash kind of glancing into his right arm. How much damage did you do?
Oh shit, hold up. Didn't think that would hit. Okay, there it is. I was having trouble finding my other G6. 9 points of damage.
And you cleave as you slice down into his arm, and he lets out a painful yell, and he drops his hand down, the one that you saw some energy kind of working its way around, but he kind of brings it back up as you see blood start running down freely. Ryland, you see these 3, we're going to call them necromites, jump up, because you know the name. You see them jump up, and Samson slashed down on the one. Now he's kind of obscuring your view of the other 2 behind him. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna try to toll the dead, the one he just slashed at.
Okay.
So, you know the deal. Good old
Yep.
book clap. It's a wisdom saving throw of 13.
It's a 15.
Okay. He vibes.
All right. So you see him as he reaches down his arm. You hear the book clasp behind you, and you all kind of look like ready for something to happen. And you see this guy just kind of reach out to his head for a second with the skulled hand, and then just kind of shake it off and look like, I don't know what kind of magic you're pulling. And then Leonora.
So she's just gonna like scream like fuck. See if she can kind of
Samson has a +1 to his attacks because of me, and then you have a +1 to your spell attack rolls because of me. The infused items that I did, your arcane focus and his
Yeah.
weapon.
Good
Oh,
call.
shit.
I have that written down. Thanks. And then she's just gonna take a Ooh.
Already added it
Can
on.
you do a bonus action before your like main action?
Sure. Absolutely.
Sick. She's gonna be like, take this, and her staff is gonna light up. I'm gonna cast Searing Smite.
Okay.
And both ends of her staff are gonna light up with fire.
Ooh.
And so I get an extra 1d6 fire damage if I hit a target on a melee attack, and then at the start of each of its turns after that, it's got to make a con save.
Cool.
Otherwise, it takes more damage. And then I'm gonna swing at it with my staff.
All right.
Would a 12 hit?
It does.
Fuck yes.
This might be your first actual attack roll this entire
I
campaign.
think so. Sweet. So, why does it say that? Oh shit! Nope, wrong one. A D8. 5 melee damage, or 5 bludgeoning damage plus. Where's this one? D6 fire damage plus 4 fire damage.
Cool. So you bring your staff up, and you guys see as this, like the blue flame kind of runs down from either of her hands, and then engulfs either side in this red. You said red flame on this,
Blue.
right? Oh, it's blue flame still.
Blue.
Okay,
Everything
Everything's
is fire
blue.
unless it's like everything is blue if it's fire.
Cool. Yeah. So these blue flames just kind of swirl around the ends of the staff as you bring it down. How do you kill this guy?
Well, apparently, according to this spell, it ignites my victim in flames. So I'm just gonna with a big who's the guy in Star Wars that wields the big double
Darth
ended
Maul.
stuff thing? Yeah, like a big Darth Maul style flourish. She just slashes in front of her, spins it around a couple times, then slashes in front of her, catching this dude on fire, and then he's kind of gonna just whoosh, fully
Alright.
up in flames.
Yeah, you
Gray
see his
hair
tattered
kind of
clothes.
singeing.
Sick. Yeah, his tattered clothes start burning. You see him start to actually scream from the pain. The skull drops to the ground and starts to shatter apart as the flames engulf him. You hear the singeing and start to smell the burning of his hair, and he collapses into the ground. And he is dead.
Fuck yeah.
Now the other two, first, they're kind of in either it was a triangular formation when they were laying on the ground. So they were the other 2 points of the triangle. They stood up, and they're about 10 feet to either of your corners, Samson or Eleanora. They both kind of look at you guys and you'll pay for that. Okay, get ready for this. And he brings up his hand, and you guys see this cold white energy start to surround his hand, and it's like this smoky mist, and then he brings it up into a grasp. Leonora does a 13 hit.
Yes.
Okay.
Should have casted mage armor.
And that attack was way cooler.
True.
Worth it.
you guys see this cold hand raised from the ground, reminiscent of Ryland's spell, and it wraps around Eleanora, squeezing her. Your blue skin starts to almost turn this weird pale white, and then back to blue, and then back to white again. As you see this kind of energy surround her, Eleanora, you feel this cold, almost soul-sucking energy emanating from inside of you. You feel this thing wrapped around you, but you feel the energy being pulled out of you by it. You take 5 points of necrotic damage.
Shit.
And the second one's going to do the same thing, but this is going to be to you, Samson. That is a unnatural 20 to hit.
Shit, that does hit.
All right, and same thing. You guys see this hand wrap around him. Same thing, Samson. You feel this cold energy. Even your warm gauntlets, they start to feel this cold. Like you feel like when your hands get too cold and your blood starts to leave your fingertips and you lose that circulation. You start to feel this, all of your energy just leaving your body. It's going to be 11 points of necrotic damage.
What the fuck? No big deal.
Highs and lows on the damage here, guys. Sorry. And then Fillmore, you don't see these two guys other than kind of through your comrades' like movements. But you do see these hands rise from the ground and wrap around them and just kind of start squeezing them. What would you like to do?
Am I able to kind of like?
You're absolutely able to move around them.
Yeah, between some legs or something like that. Or maybe move off to the side enough that they're not in front of me. And Fillmore's going to take a crack at shooting his crossbow, his light crossbow.
Ooh.
Because he's been, casting a lot of magic. And he's like, I don't want to wear myself too thin. So he pulls out his light crossbow and goes for it. Just whatever one would be, I guess, entering the room, whichever one would be maybe on the right-hand side, because that's probably which way he would drift.
Okay.
A natural 20.
All right.
I don't know
Fuck
if I could. I would like. You're not gonna be able to see it.
Natural 20, baby. Let's do it.
I believe
I
it.
pinky promise. That's real shit. No.
Real
All right,
shit.
so it's max damage
Let's
plus your
go.
modifier plus your roll.
A D8. So then plus nothing because I have a +0 to my dexterity. So 8 plus whatever I roll. 2. So 10.
All right. Yeah, Fillmore, you you work your way around all these, all your friends, and you kind of avoid this big chilling hand that you can kind of feel the energy off of. You don't feel cold from it. You feel the energy off it. And you bring up your crossbow and you fire the shot almost kind of blindly. I know you kind of lock and load in, but it's hesitance. One of the first times you're actually shooting people. And you bring it up and you fire the bolt and it passes right into the guy's like sternum here. And he takes a deep breath and he drops to a knee and he raises his skull up. You're next then. And he rises back up. And then Samson. The hand releases from around you. You kind of stagger to your feet, kind of trying to get your wits about you and boost your energy back up.
I'm gonna try and use my sword and kind of like jam it into one of the guys. I haven't done
Stab
that in a
him.
while.
All
Yeah,
right,
I wanna
sure.
stab him. Imagine I have just a giant knife. Just a stab. All right, baby, come on. I fucking hate D&D, man. Got a 1.
Hell yeah.
Oh no.
You
Guess which one is fucking purple one.
highs and lows, baby. So you bring your sword up, and after that moment, you just have this moment of you're just trying to work up the energy to bring a swift stab, and you charge over and you bring it up and you go to stab in, and he just swiftly moves out of your way. You catch his clothing a bit, but doesn't catch him at all. And he just no, he smiles at you, and you see his half rotted, half broken teeth, and he just smiles at you. laughing. Ryland.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I'm gonna, just continue the battle the way it seems to be going, and I'm gonna cast Chill Touch on one of them.
All right. The one that
Fireball.
Phil hit, or the other
Uh,
one?
yeah, sure, the one that Phil hit.
All right.
Does a 24 hit?
No. So anyway, Leonora. No. Yeah.
The boy.
Oh, you didn't have your damage dice ready, man. You had no
Nah.
faith in yourself.
I mean, it's very seldom that I actually hit anything. I didn't think I'd need him this session, to be honest. Although whenever I do get it, I get the nice, so that's 8 points of necrotic damage.
All right. So, yeah, you see this this battle of these necrotic hands rising from the ground. Rylan, what do you say when you cast that again?
Death's Grasp.
Yeah, you hear him just utter, like, Eleanor, you hear it especially, just Death's Grasp behind you.
I
And
feel like
this,
it echoes, like as he says it, like it fucking just reverberates.
I mean, you're gonna hear it in the chamber you're in. It's only a 15-foot room, but he brings his hand up. You bring your hand up. You start to squeeze, and this hand rises out of the ground, wrapping around this necromite, and you see his face kind of grin at you, Ryland, as it starts to wrap him up. And was that the one Phil hit or no?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, yeah. So you, how much damage was that?
8.
8 points.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, you your armor smiles at you. He's good, and he falls as soon as the hand releases, falls to the ground. You see his already pale skin has now become almost that ashy gray that you see, at someone's funeral. And then you see him fall to the ground, and the skull, the eyes fade. The Eleanora, you see this other one fall to the ground, victim to the same spell you just had wrapped around you. Rylan, did you want to do anything else? I'm sorry.
No, that'll be it for me right now.
Okay. Yeah, Leonora. You see him fall to the ground, and this one's still standing there. And Samson had just stabbed at him, and he lunged to the side, and he smiled at him.
Sick. I'm gonna cast Mage Armor because that's probably a good idea. So like
Now, wait, Mage Armor lasts how long?
8 hours.
Mage, 8 hours.
Oh, then you already casted it earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, you're good. You're still.
She did. I did.
Oh, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you. Thanks for the honesty.
Yeah, I didn't. I forgot, but I was pretty sure I didn't cast it earlier.
Okay.
I also forgot that I'd taken damage earlier, but D&D Beyond didn't forget. So
It never forgets. Thanks,
D&D
D&D
never
Beyond.
So my AC is now 14.
All right.
Oh God. And she's just gonna take a couple steps back and like sort of like bring her stuff around in like a kind of like defensive stance in front of her.
All right, cool. This necromite, Samson, you see him as he's smiling at you. He brings the skull overhand and brings it down. Sorry, Siri's interrupting me.
He didn't get that.
How dare you?
How dare you, Siri? By the way, I use Australian Siri. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Australian ale. What
That's gold.
I've used that forever. So this necromite brings the flail over the skull, and it comes down, swinging at you, Samson. Does a natural 20 hit?
Natural.
Nah.
20.
Nah, not at
I
all.
don't think so, Brian.
So be 16 points of damage as he swings it down and crushes into your right into the top of your head and just crushes in you. You feel this blunt energy, and you see purple kind of stars around you for a second.
I don't see shit because I'm down.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
I figured you were down.
He's
Yeah.
face down. He's drowning.
nah, there's no water here. You are good. There's no
Oh,
water on
okay.
the yeah, but he smacks you in the head. You start to see purple for a second as you fall to the side. You guys see this crushing blow from this skull crash over Samson's head, and he spins to the side and drops to the ground. You hear the crumple of his body, lifeless body, on the ground for him. And Samson, or no, sorry, Phil. You just see Samson hit the ground. What do you do?
Not not a whole lot. I'm going not gonna lie to you. I think Phil's probably gonna take one more shot with the crossbow before
Cool.
he commits to any sort of spell casting. Hoping that this will be the I don't know. Anyways, taking my shot at him. Because it's another natural 20. But it's my
I got a
guess.
1.
Can I? No, I don't know. I can
Yeah,
text
dude, it's yours. You're good, man. You're good.
Weighted dice, bro.
Natural 20, baby. Celebrate.
No, be
Yeah,
upset.
but
got a natural
I mean, if we were playing at a table, I'm still taking it. But I'm gonna let you know my conscience is just like, oh.
Well, now I feel like you're lying.
Yeah,
I didn't touch any dice. I just took a picture and I sent it. It's in the Discord now.
I believe you.
Another natural 20. But it's not the 2 that's right next to it because there's no way that it could have rolled right there.
I think I can roll one there.
Hey now.
You're an all-star.
So what is it? 8 plus another fucking 2. So 10. 10 points.
Another one.
At least I'm rolling low on my damage.
Phil, you line up this crossbow shot, and you bring it up overhand, and you a little more confident this time. Pull it up, line it up, and fire. How does it kill him?
I feel like he probably would have aimed for like just normal a killing blow in the chest, heart area, but again, not used to combat with real things, opposed to targets in the alley. So when he shoots, he probably like flinched, so it would have had a little bit more of a higher angle, so like right in the eye or something like that, just in the head area. And he's
All
like,
right.
tries to play it, and he totally tries to play it off like he meant to hit him in the head. He
Yeah,
wasn't
and this-
aiming any lower.
He staggers for a second. You see this crossbow bolt literally racked out of his eye, and he staggers for a second, which is kind of throwing you off. And then he just falls flat forward, and the bolt drives further into his skull, hits the ground. So that is it for those guys. Samson, I still want you to roll me a death saving throw just for my excitement.
If I get a fucking nat 20, I'm gonna be hype.
Yeah.
I got 17.
All right. Yeah.
I don't have any.
So because you have a guy down, we're gonna stay in initiative just for now. But like, well, what would you like? Kind of initiative, but not really. So what would you guys kind of do?
I can heal him one more time, and then I can't do it anymore until I go to sleep.
Gotta go to bed.
Does anyone have any potions or anything?
And I just kind of ignore the question and go to check on the bodies.
Okay, before our next, I guess, mission, maybe we should go shopping. That might not be a bad idea. Because I got nothing.
My little cure wounds spider thing that I got.
There.
I'm gonna put it on Samson and cast Cure Wounds. Oh, it
Good.
wasn't even like a slashing or piercing wounds this time, was it? It was like
He got
necrotic.
clobbered. No, he
Mm.
just got clobbered.
Okay,
I
yeah,
wasn't,
you
I
know.
wasn't raging either.
Clobbering
So
to him.
always, whenever it's like if I'm bringing someone like from unconscious or whatever, I'll always definitely target like whatever the most previous wound was, the freshest
Yeah.
damage.
So this time you kind of wind up your little bots, and they kind of go to work, and you see them. It's not so much stitching them up this time; it's more of a they actually like go to where like the big bruised, bleeding area is, and they just start to. You see this little white energy kind of coming off their little chattering hands as it kind of surrounds his face a little bit, and then you see the bruising kind of go down and the swelling kind of fade in. Samson, you are healed 4.
Oh yeah, I should do that, huh?
Dice are involved.
Ooh, an 8 plus Cure Wounds plus 3, 11 points of healing
Ooh,
to you, my friend.
Nice.
that's exciting.
He lives.
I'm gonna get up and just. Who the hell hits someone with a skull?
Honestly. I know, man. I don't get it either.
What weirdo.
Rylan, you go around investigating these bodies, and I mean you can roll an investigation check if you'd like, but you were right there for the whole fight, so.
No, I want to see if there's like any goodies on them. Actually, this
Oh,
time.
okay, yeah, sure, that's fine. Yeah,
Investigation
so
still, or
no, that's
Okay.
okay. So as you're kind of patting them down and feeling them, there isn't anything on them besides their robes. A couple, small silver pieces and some coppers, nothing exciting, and their skull flails on the end of the rope. The one shattered, the other 2 are still.
okay. I guess I'll just kind of take that in, realize there's nothing really there for me, and then kind of turn back and rejoin the group for some jolly
Are you
conversation.
taking their silver or anything?
Yeah, how much is it?
There's collectively 14 silver and 18 copper pieces.
Broke.
Same though. Give me that silver. All right, yeah, but then just walking over to the group. Boop, 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 boop.
All right.
And can I look for my 2 crossbow bolts?
Sure. You pick them up and grab them. I am going to be generous in saying that my ruling for bolts and stuff, I had this whole scheme on my last game that we ran. That was going to have you do 4d6s and you kind of tick them down as we went. It's a good idea, but I don't care enough.
That's how I play. They're so
you restock
inexpensive.
every so often, and that's fine. I
It's
assume
like, what, less than a gold for. You could get what 2 or 3 bundles, I think, for less
Right.
than a gold. I can't even remember, but
yeah. We're not playing that money intensive of a game that I'm concerned about that.
okay, fair enough.
Word.
I'll just every now and then mention that I might be buying some bolts whenever we go to town, every 2 or 3 times.
Right. And in general, my ruling on that would be we don't penalize a swordsman for using a sword over and over again, or a spellcaster for using cantrips over and over again. So it is what it is. All right. Yeah. So what do you guys want to do? Sorry about that.
Oh, word.
You see this these stairs to your left, to the west side of the room, and then the doorway you came in. No, nothing other than these bodies in this room at this point. Once laid in a triangular formation face down, now laid in a semi-triangular formation, bleeding and dead.
Yeah, actually.
There's still a lit torch in the center of the room. This room is not dark. It is lit by that torch. Samson, I'm going to assume that you kind of throw your torch to the side whenever You're gonna grab your sword and start going to town, but that's still lit as well.
I'm gonna grab both torches.
Double
Alright.
fisted.
Hey, Mr. Rye Guy.
I
Do you
love
know?
that.
Yes.
Do you know those? Do you know those people, things, whatever they were?
I mean, I know what they were, but I don't know them personally, if that's what you're asking.
You know, it was just weird when you took the one, squeezed him to death, whatever. He was like excited about it or happy or something. I don't know. It was weird. I just was wondering if you had any insight on that.
Yes. I guess I could ask to see if I have anything beyond this, but I guess just generally you'd probably say, yes, some are so devout in the worship to the Lord of Bones that I think the prospect of being sent away through the means of his own magic, through necromantic means, is exciting and almost honorable, preferable to them.
I'd say in a sense you'd have a general feeling that would be the case. And also, as a practicer in the arts, I would say there's even a feeling of that maybe one day when you die, someone would use you as a puppet, so to speak.
Right. I think for Fillmore, he'd probably leave that detail out.
Okay.
Uh, so you're not a fan of this Lord of Bones guy, are you? Or you know, you don't have. It's okay. Let's. How you feeling? Let's go. We're good.
Yes, we can just go.
All right. And where are you going to?
Eleanora's not gonna take the lead. She's gonna kind of stick behind Samson, and she's like leaning heavily on her staff as she's like walking with the group.
So,
And then Samson's gonna
So who's
hopefully
gonna take-
say how great he feels. I feel like $1 million. Thank you, Fillmore. And then I'll take the lead.
You got it, buddy.
All right. Which way are you going?
Thanks, Samson.
Oh shit! Let me pull the map again.
And
So
what's my marching order? So, Eleanor, are you taking the full tail? Or are you taking Samson's back?
I was gonna try and just stay as like directly behind Samson.
Okay.
He's much larger than I am, so
There's
it's
only
a
one
human
way to
shield.
go here. So there.
So, Samson, Eleonora, I'm going to guess Rylan, Phil.
Yeah, I'm still kind of like being paranoid, looking behind us.
Okay.
yeah, it works for me.
Because the corridors are only wide enough for single file.
Single
so that's
file
why.
lines.
Yep.
Okay, so are we taking the stairs you said it was to the left, right?
Yes.
Wicked.
Okay. So as you head down the stairs, it's only a short stairwell going down about 10 feet. You find this chamber is like partially collapsed. It's all collapsed around a stone sarcophagus that was opened already and looks to have been looted long ago. There's dust and kind of humanoid bones.
Can I do an
I'm
investigation?
not gonna poke the bones.
Can I also do an investigation check?
So I need both of you to roll d20. Rylan, I'm going to have you take the head of this investigation check.
All right, good, because I got a fucking 1.
All right, so you have no support from Samson.
I also don't have much support for myself. That's a 7.
Okay. It's actually okay. So as you guys are kind of moving some stuff around, the both of you are kind of digging through the dust and kind of moving these bones out of the way. You find 3 books. The first is bound in red leather. The second
Oh,
has a rune burned into an umber cover. And the third is bound in scaly black reptile hide.
well, this seems right up your, What do you want to say? Right up your road, my friend.
Yes.
I think you mean
Books.
Allie. It's not important.
Ah, yes. A little one, yes.
I'd like to, I guess, examine the one with the rune on it first, see if maybe I can even tell something without even like really doing anything with it, see if there's anything about that rune that might be recognizable.
Okay.
Say again.
Roll a roll an Arcana check.
What did those books look like again? I'm sorry.
The first one's red leather.
For
The second one
my first
has
roll was cocked.
has a rune burned into an umber cover, and the third one is a scaly black reptile hide.
Thank you.
21.
21. So as you're looking at this, it's what you know from being in School of Magic. You know that there are runes that a lot of spellcasters tend to make for themselves. It's a personal emblazoned rune, but it seems to have roots in more of a what's the word I want to use here? It seems to have a leaning towards the School of Enchantment in the design of this.
And I don't know if it's like a separate thing or maybe I'd gather it from that, but does it seem like the book itself is like radiating like like any like enchantment magic or anything like that? Or
Do you have a detect magic spell?
no?
Just feeling it? No,
Mhm.
it feels like a pretty plain book.
Okay.
It looks very similar to your spell book, if that
Is this
helps.
is this room like we have our torches and stuff, so is it just lit by that?
It's just lit by your torches. Yep.
Okay. Um yeah, I guess I'll take the plunge and try to crack this book open.
You pull its cover open. You feel the leather kind of bind up as you pull it. There is stiffness to it, and the pages are old, covered in dust and definite some weathering on them. This book contains several spells. As you flip through it, it's in a familiar script, common. Nothing too hidden about it. 5 spells actually, that you because I can't count, that you know offhand. First one being Charm Person. You might want to take a notes of these. Find Familiar. Identify. Magic Missile. And Sleep.
Ooh. This is quite fascinating. This book, it's got some powerful spells in here. Some very useful utilities in this. I assume these other books may possess similar useful knowledge. Am I the only one up for reading? So I kind of like flip some more pages.
Are you sure we have time for that right now? Or
You might find some good information in there.
oh, I do love a good book. Sure, I'll take one. Whatever one that you're willing to hand me, Fillmore will take and
I'll hand you
check
the.
it out.
If Ryland's like holding them out, Eleanora's just gonna like grab the black reptile covered like skin covered one, the scaly one, and just be like, "Yeah, I could go for a book."
Crocodile Dundee.
Not even.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Jesus. Anyway, that works out. That's how I was gonna hand the books out anyway, though.
Sick. And she's not even gonna like take a second to examine it. She's just gonna open it, and see what's in there.
And I'm
Cool.
handing Phil the red one.
Ellie, you have a -2 to your next roll.
Fuck.
Fuck.
What if I roll a nat 20?
It's an 18.
Well, then it's
Eleanora, you open this book. Same kind of deal. It's harder to open, and it's tight. But as you open it, interestingly enough, it is written in a script familiar to you, Infernal.
Fuck yeah.
Contains the following spells: Cloud of Daggers,
Wait, writing this down. Cloud of Daggers. Yep.
Dark Vision,
Dark Vision. Nope. Oh, can I cast that? Yep, sick.
Detect Magic,
That's handy.
Featherfall,
Featherfall.
Mage Armor,
Helpful. Hell yeah.
Magic Missile,
Oh my god, I can't write fast enough. Magic Missile.
and Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Fuck
So-
does that do? Sick.
To clarify how spellbooks work in the world of Dungeons and Dragons, spellbooks are used by wizards to help them learn spells. So typically, in order for a wizard to learn more spells, they would have to have received the information from another wizard and been able to transcribe using specialty ink on specialty paper, usually Valium, and it has to be transcribed onto the paper and then practiced, the movements practiced, the incantations practiced until finally the wizard gets it. It takes several weeks of time. They are used by wizards. In ruling in 5e, I don't know how it was in previous editions, the spells can only be learned by a wizard at the level that they are. So if it's a first level spell, only a wizard that can learn first level spells can know it. A second level spell, same thing, and so on and so forth. But anyone can cast a spell from a spell book as if it is a scroll, with the risk of destroying it once it's been read. And at any level. This risk obviously raises the higher the level of the spell. That might be more of a house rule for me.
Okay, so the spell book, so if you are the level required to use it though, you are able to use it and you're a wizard.
Yes, you can learn the spell. You still have to take time to learn the spell.
Okay,
You don't-
so in that case, would it be like a matter of transcribing it from the book into my own spell book?
you could do that. You could buy the materials, do that, or you could keep that spell book separately, learn
But
the
just
incantations,
Learn it. Okay.
and then eventually transcribe it into yours, whatever, once you've
Okay.
mastered the spell. It takes about 2 weeks to learn a spell.
Okay.
What is this? What kind of madness is this? What's going on here? Oh, the bird.
He covers his bird, yeah.
Bird's
He's
getting
about
too
to make
loud.
half his room disappear.
I thought he was gonna do some sort of magic trick or something.
He did. He just made a bird disappear.
Yeah, it's
Didn't
the
you see
bird
it?
now.
Anyway.
Really quick, since everyone's looking at these books, I want to do a perception check
To listen around you.
to listen around. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, roll a perception check.
I'm not actually
I got
looking
a
at the book he gave
15.
me.
You're not looking at the book he gave you.
No, not yet. Fillmore's
Okay.
really nervous.
All right. So yeah, you guys are listening out. Phil, your eyes are attuned. I mean, you are looking at the into as far into the darkness as you can, and you are peeking at everything that you can see. Every shadow, every flicker of light, you're catching. But so far, there's been nothing to note. And then Samson, you're listening as closely as you can. You hear the drips further down the cavern. They echo all the way through. Beyond that, and assuming how much is echoing, you don't hear any voices or any footsteps, nothing. So you'd assume that since the water's so loud, that everything else would also be equally as loud. It's all very quiet. Again, almost eerily, spookily quiet.
Absolutely fascinating. Eleanora, is your book providing you any insight?
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of spells in it, which is super handy. But then check out this material. And just kind of stroke the cover. Like, I feel like if I took it apart, I could almost make, a nice little grip for my
Oh.
staff.
So
Make it
exotic.
soft
Whoa,
and-
whoa, whoa. This book's so fine. How could you even
Oh.
think of doing such a thing?
And Cole.
Well, I'm
Sorry, don't interrupt. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the spell
Okay.
books that aren't in your language
Hmm.
would have to be translated to you by someone that can read it. So it's okay that Eleanor would do that, but you'd have to have it transcribed to you,
Okay.
and hopefully write it all correctly.
Mm-hmm. May I take a look?
I could, yeah, but I could. I don't know if you'll be able to read it.
And I'll take a look.
All right, yeah, and you see the script. What languages do you know?
Abyssal, Common, and Infernal.
Ah,
All
Sick.
so infernal.
All of us do?
I do.
I don't.
not a metagame, but we're going to hell, so I might as well learn Infernal.
Yeah, wow. No way in hell. No way at all. Fillmore would know Infernal.
Whatever. So y'all know Infernal. No, it's fine. I know why you would know Infernal. That makes sense, Cole.
Yeah.
Elliot, I'm not so sure of, but you know what? I'll take it.
Whatever. It's the
he
gloves,
went-
man.
I want to be able to have a conversation with Scorm someday. Cole's first tiefling character. So
My boy. Look how they massacred my boy.
Yes. So you read this book, Cole, and you see that it contains all of those spells as well. Did you catch all of them when I read them off?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool.
And then, yeah, I'll just try to be like, I guess, looking it over and. Oh, there's some powerful stuff in here as well. And just like, take good care of that book. Please, don't destroy its cover. This binding is
It's just
quite magnificent.
It's just the cover. It's not like I'm gonna like rip up the pages. I know the value of a good book when I see one.
I have my doubts if you're willing to do such a thing to the cover. This binding, truly magnificent. Plus, it's so old, vintage, authentic. Who knows how old these
Exactly.
scales are?
Exactly. They've been worn in. They're so soft to the touch.
Anyway, Fillmore, how's your book coming along?
He's basically like, huh? What? No, yeah, it's great.
Perhaps you'll feel better on by some
J-
tavern
Well-
candlelight.
And then, like after kind of looking around, I guess for a second after he mentions it, he'd be like, kind of like maybe thumb through a page or two and see if it's anything. Like if it's more spells, he'll probably give it back, and maybe ask to look at it at a different time.
So, are there spells?
There are spells. Do you know Elvish?
No, I know Common, Dwarvish,
Oh.
Gnomish, and Halfling. Like, I can't even read this stuff anyway. Someone,
Yeah,
and I
and
like
I'll take a
kinda
look
motion
at it
towards
too.
Rylan.
Yeah, I'll take a look and be like, it's beyond me.
I might get it and I'll grab it and just oh yeah, sick, and start reading it. But it's like not perfect because Eleanora knows Elvish, but she knows like conversational Elvish.
Ooh.
So like
It's-
I can read
yeah,
it, but maybe not perfectly.
Keep that in mind.
That's fun. That's fun.
That is fun. Cool. Yeah. So, yeah, Eleanor, you read this one apart down, and you read a couple spells. The first one is Burning Hands,
Sweet.
Detect Magic, Disguise Self, Fog Cloud, Ray of Sickness, and Silent Image.
So she reads those out to the group, but instead of burning hands, she's squinting at the book for a bit while she's reading, and she's like, like hot fingers. We've got
Hot fingers. I want to know what kind of conversation that.
hot fingers. We've got costume person.
Costume person.
Fog cloud she gets because that's conversational. We've got a plague. Some plague something. I'm not quite sure. And then we got picture. Just quiet picture. Quiet drawing. I don't know.
Rylan, roll
All right, cool.
an Arcana check.
I was just gonna ask. I was like, off of that, just from wizarding, would he be able to possibly decipher any of that?
That's like Ron's one of those guys that he's just kind of like.
I'm gonna say no.
How about we do one for each spell?
All right, the first one's a 9.
Nope,
No idea what hot fingers is.
Hot fingers is a mystery. It's a mystery.
Makes him just go, what?
Yeah, it's a very mysterious spell to you. Yep. Maybe just because you're still thrown off, that can't be the name.
That's a nat 20, so 25 on whatever the next one is.
Disguise Self was the next one she tried at.
Oh, I don't think I read out.
You did not do Detect Magic. Yeah.
For that one, she's like, find magic. Find magic finder.
Okay.
So what did I get? Disguise Self. What'd she say for that? Like, because I feel like just as they're going, as he's like thinking about it, he's just like correcting her, being like, I think by costume person you might have meant disguise self. And then
you know what? That would actually, that would make sense.
Another one. That's a 16 this time, so 21.
That's Detect Magic.
And I think Find Magic. Well, you knew Fog Cloud, you said.
I knew that one. Oh, well, then it would be Ray of Sickness.
Yeah, I flipped it back to Detect Magic.
Plague Fiend?
You put it in order, kind of.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Okay, so Detect Magic. So Find Magic, I think, most likely is Detect Magic. And then another one. 2.
So
think 7.
That might be like Inflict Wounds, or
this is really embarrassing because I know the spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Eleanor doesn't.
Yeah, you think that one would be like, plague? You're like, man, Inflict Wounds, or some sort of disease spell, and for some reason it's just not coming to you that you already know Ray's sickness. And then, one more.
Oh, one more. Another nat 20. Using them where they count, so 25 again.
Quiet Picture is Silent Image.
And Quiet Picture would be Silent Image, I believe.
Yep, you got it. That now that I'm reading it, that does make a lot of sense.
Glad to see all that schooling wasn't for nothing.
Hey, I mean, I can hold a conversation. No one told me I'd have to be able to read a spell book. Jesus.
Not talking about you, I'm talking about spell recall.
My apologies.
Of course. Anyway, I suppose we should get out of this enclosed room with our backs against the wall. And who knows what's out there. Lead the way.
All right, I'll start.
It was nice not having to think about there's more of this place you guys want to see. It was a nice little break.
There's probably a lot more actually to see.
I
What are
would
we
be
looking
so
for
keen
again?
to see a lot more of this after a nap.
Hmm. I'm doing quite fine, to be honest.
Well, then
Just
you
wants
can
us to
take the
take
lead.
care of the dead three, right? Something about the
Uh,
dead three in Tarina.
Real quick, as you guys flip through the rest of the pages of the book besides the spells, there's some notes about like Markle and his role in the Dead Three. Eleanora, you start to pick up some clues about him. You know he's known as the Lord of Bones, but he already told you that. But as you're reading it, you start to notice things like, sorry, uh, yeah. So, you know, he's like you see that these people want to command the dead. You know, people who plunder tombs for lost knowledge. He appeals to them. Loves undead servants. Um, Everyone that you heard of that whispers prayers to Merkel is absolutely trying to practice in the necromantic arts.
Cool.
And it kind of makes sense to actually you now, Ryland. It kind of clicks. The older, kind of cagey people that you've seen that are his followers, as you're putting it together with Baldur's Gate culture, you start to figure out that people that make it to old age in Baldur's Gate, because it's not a common thing, they seek the blessing of the Lord of Bones, and that's written in the spellbook that you grabbed. He went to him as he aged to try and extend his life, or at least understand how to possibly prolong his own mortality.
Interesting. Tell me, Eleanora, does your book detail anything about Mirko as well?
Yeah. It just tells me that, you know, he's he wants to command the dead. He likes his undead servants. All the people that follow him and that work with him, they're all gonna be kind of necromancers. Like they like dead things, basically. I'm getting a lot of dead vibes. Surprised you don't know the guy.
Oh, I do.
Her face just drops.
But I just want to make sure we were on the same page in terms of information.
Um, does yours say anything else?
Well, aside from the details that you said, not sure if this is also in yours, but it says that, well, a little bit of what it says, a little bit of intuition. It seems that becoming old in Baldur's Gate is not the most common thing. I think it tends to be that some older folk may come to seek Mirko's blessing of sorts, or try to appease him for longevity, for an extension on the Call of Death.
You know what? Now you mention it, I don't recall seeing that many old dudes around.
And if you did,
Like,
they may be doing some less than wholesome tributes in the dark.
Okay, so stay away from old people. Old people are dangerous. I can do that. That's easy.
Yeah, they're sometimes mean too, but I don't know if that has any. It's probably different.
No, that's just old people.
So mean
Yeah,
and
yeah, they're-
grumpy. Old people are grumpy.
Then again, if I survived this long in Baldur's Gate, I'd probably be grumpy too.
yeah.
Surely you're just like, I want a holiday.
After all this money we're about to make,
Yeah. First,
Gets me
first
hype.
up,
Gets
the
Samson hype
beach.
as shit.
To think about the money.
Fillmore's just trying to play it cool. He's a cool cat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Not
So,
nervous at all.
so where do we go from here? Would you like to try to rest in this dank cave, or perhaps press forward? I'm open to anything, really.
I'd love to press
Wherever
forward.
we go, I'm not in front.
Say we keep the big guy in front again.
You got it.
Works
Maybe
for
like
me.
sat down for like a half hour while we were all doing this and not doing very much strenuous stuff other than reading.
I'd say some time passed. If you guys want to take a short rest, you could take
Did
a
4
short
hours
rest.
pass by chance?
Now that you mention it, yeah, Brian, could we do that? I wasn't even. What were you thinking I was saying? I don't know.
Sure. Let me just roll some dice here nonchalantly to make sure that your short rest goes unimpeded.
Yeah.
Oh, great news. I need you. No, you're fine. Yeah, your short rest. You guys kind of sit down, you peruse through the books, and you've already kind of got cozy in here a little bit, as cozy as you can get in this little crypt, kind of sitting there looking through stuff. But yeah, you all kind of take a minute to grab a drink from your flasks, whatever you got. Fillmore, you maybe take a shot quick, and pound some food down, whatever you got. Use some hit die. That's what I do when I'm resting at work.
While Eleanor is resting, she's gonna be like staring at the red leather book, the elvish one, and just trying to figure out what the fuck it says.
Okay,
She's
I still say
really
after
yeah.
that. Oh, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say she's really stuck on Ray of Sickness because it's not none of those. The only word that she would know is sickness, and it's not been used in that kind of context around her. So she's muttering under her breath, and she starts muttering, "Plague, plague, plague, a plague on both your houses." And so, if anyone learns it, that's what you have to say at cost.
Yeah, I think Rylan just, really appreciating his new book. Just
cool. Yeah, so it goes by very unimpeded. No sounds, nothing. Even as you're keeping an eye out, there's nothing crazy going by. So anyone that has anything that comes back during a short rest, which I only believe would be hit die for all of you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any of you have spells that regenerate.
I could, but I'm not going to use it.
Right. You could spend sorcery points, Eleanora, if you wanted to restore spell slots.
Restore spell slot.
Samson feels really good.
Yeah.
Basically
Where's my
100%
sorcery
now.
Samson's pumped up. He needed this break.
It has not been
Yeah.
the
He was
entire time we've been in here, but I'm like Fillmore's urging everybody else, like, hey, yeah, take a load off.
Samson's just getting hyped thinking about the loot. He's like, oh, it's going to be big money after this.
Gonna rage loot the shit out of this place.
Okay, sick.
Okay. All right. I'm ready to move on.
All right. So what do you guys want to do?
We'll go back the way we came.
Mm-hmm. Samson
leading
taking the
the way.
lead.
I'm so hype. And I'm gonna say, take the right path.
Are you going to carry both torches or just one?
I mean, I think I'm gonna put one out and keep it.
Okay, that's fine.
So I'm gonna give myself another torch here. Hold up.
Hold up.
What do I have now?
One more than you had before.
I have
11.
Alrighty, there we go. Yeah, but
So
I
you-
say we take the right path.
Through the door.
Hmm.
Mm. Who's on this one?
This one is. Who is on this one? The eastern door, I think, is a tall armored man wearing a bucket helm.
Hmm.
His right gauntlet is painted black and clutches a set of shackles.
Sounds like a fun guy.
Does anyone want to do any sort of check to discern who he is? Or you guys just going to push through the
Yeah, I will see if I can have any dots to connect from knowledge of one dead three maybe to the other.
Yeah. You know of the Dead Three. All of you know of the
Mhm.
Dead Three. I mean, they're Baldur's Gate legend. I mean, they're demigods that walk among the mortals. But you don't know which one's which necessarily.
Mhm.
So Merkel's very different than the other two. The other two are very close to similar kind of looks. They both wear gauntlets. They both or the one wears gauntlets, the other one has blades on his hands, but they're both obviously fighters. So this one, religion check, Cole.
6.
You think it's either Ball or Bane. You don't know which one it is.
Is he wearing a
But-
mask?
Nobody cared about
Sorry.
Baldur's Gate before I put on the mask.
Sorry.
I guess I'll give it a closer look.
All right, yeah. Well, everyone roll a religion check. I don't care.
Oh baby, oh baby, hold up.
Wait, hold up. Eh.
That's a 19.
Bruh.
All
Say
right.
religion?
19.
21.
Wow.
20 what?
21.
All right.
I had a +5.
So-
Oh, 17.
I'm gonna throw a lot of information at you guys.
Oh shit.
Good.
What was
I
I?
don't have to take notes because I failed it.
So
This had
Uh,
the bucket helmet. Okay.
this guy's not the bucket helmet guy.
No.
Oh, no, sorry, this is. I'm sorry, I lied to you.
That's
I
what I
lied to
thought.
you.
Yeah, bro
This
moment.
is Bane. You know he is the demigod of tyranny. Bane, is his patriarchs are praying to him to gain power through coercion, intimidation, forceful exaction of the gang leaders, evil mercenaries, and others who rely on fear and control also pay homage to Bane. Those who want to invoke dominance and ruthlessness favor wearing black gloves, a nod to Bane's holy symbol. Looking at the other one, you discern that is Baal. Bhaal. He is the god of murder, the demigod of murder. People who worship Baal, he is very popular in Baldur's Gate, obviously. His connection to the murder. Few people openly admit worshiping to him, but the Lord of Murder has an unspoken assumption among anyone in the city that anyone who benefits from violent death has some respect for him. Assassination and murder underpin many of the plots in the city, from the business of highly paid killers to slayings of opportunity committed by outer city fanatics. You guys know Baal exists near or under the city, possibly in an ancient chamber beneath the sewers. Rumor holds that 11 red crystals on the wall of the temple grow brighter with every murder committed, gathering power for either Baal or one of his future chosen. They're called Baal Spawn.
Aren't we all?
Gather.
You're not gonna take -2 off of him.
You know, I'm a fair DM. You only have a -1 now, Elliot.
Well, no, I should have a -0. I've done 2 rolls since then.
But
And you didn't take
use
it
the
off either one.
-2.
Oh, I took it off the first one, the perception check.
Okay, there you go. We're even.
That's why I rolled the perception check,
Money.
Sneaky.
so I wouldn't get screwed.
Penalty's coming on your next attack roll next time. There you go.
Awesome. For saying Crocodile Dundee.
Oh,
The best movie ever, dude.
Bruh.
okay.
Yeah, door
Moving
time.
You guys head into this doorway.
And I walk in.
You start making your way down this narrow corridor. Low ceilings, musky, very humid. You come across the stairwell. Keep pressing on.
Yes.
Yes.
Watching the back with my glasses. Adjusting. You know, all that stuff.
You come across another stairwell that leads down into the water.
Another one.
How deep is this water? Is it?
Another 2 foot deep.
Hey, anyone mind helping me out? Kinda.
I'll pick him up.
Okay.
Are we still like, do we, because we're in the narrow corridor, right? So I'll like slide up against the wall, let him try to pass.
Yeah.
Yep. So you guys will have to like kind of squeeze together, and then yeah, he makes his way up. Kind of.
Sorry. It's like getting through to your seat in the movie theater. Oh, sorry.
Why are the floors so sticky?
I
So you
just, I can see this becoming a common thing. Just like Fillmore on Samson's shoulders.
So you guys start making your way down into this water.
Samson
Yes.
sat front, lay him to the side.
I
He
will
said
continue
yes.
Down into the water.
All right.
I'm gonna have to next time we have any time. I'll try to maybe make something so this is a little less cumbersome on you. Maybe a little more comfortable for me too.
Just like a baby
You guys-
satchel.
You guys head into the room. The eastern part of this room is unlit, so your torches glow brightly, reflecting off the water. It's flooded, braced with floor-to-ceiling wooden beams. Rough-hewn steps rise out of the murky water to the western portion of the room, which is dry and lit by 2 torches and sconces that flank a stone altar. You see this altar kind of flickering in the distance. At the back of that altar, shackled to the wall, is a sickly man in a loincloth with a burlap sack over his head. An alcove in the north wall contains a freestanding suit of plate armor missing its helm. And standing before the altar are 2 grim figures, a powerfully built woman clutching a mace and an even bigger man wearing a bucket helm. The helmed man is jabbing the prisoner with a spear, causing him to twitch. Both figures are clad in chainmail, and the woman carries a wooden shield with a leering skull painted on it. I need you guys to roll initiative.
Holy shit.
Epic.
Dun.
Are you fucking joking? I got an 8.
And that is where we'll also take a break.
Excellent.
Thank God.
Sick, because my
Alright.
headphones are almost dead.
I am so
And welcome back. All right, so we are at the second half of the third episode. We finally have accomplished, sat down 3 times, gotten together from all of our different geographic locations, and are playing a game. So that is cool. So far tonight, we have ventured deep into the dungeon beneath the bathhouse. After finding their way and deciding to light a torch, and after some fidgeting about, our group has decided to proceed down the different doors of the Dead Three. The first one was the one they entered from. The second, the door depicting Morkel, containing 3 of his followers, along with some spell books in a sarcophagus, buried under dust and rubble. As they've proceeded down the corridor, depicting it was Bane. Yes. The corridor has turned. They've entered into a room, and standing before the altar are 2 grim figures, a powerfully built woman clutching a mace, and an even bigger man wearing a bucket helm. The helmed man is jabbing the prisoner with a spear, causing him to twitch. Both figures are clad in chainmail, and the woman carries a wooden shield with a leering skull paint. As you guys see this, you round the corner, you looking at it on roll 20 there, you see that you're about 25 feet away from, or 30 feet away from the altar, and they are currently jabbing at him from behind the altar. They spin around, hearing you and seeing light from your torches start to reflect off the dark cavern. The first one looks at you, the male with the helmet on his head, and someone has entered into our dungeon. Good. Welcome. I hope you've come prepared to die.
Well, I didn't do any homework. So, perhaps you shall die.
I think I'm still on Samson's shoulders, by the way.
Right.
You are. You are.
Can I not put him down yet?
Oh, we're in water, buddy. I am not getting down yet.
You could take me
Oh,
off if you tried,
true.
bro.
Cool. So, yeah, Rylan, you see them both kind of grab their weapons. The woman grabs a bow off her back and pulls it out. The other one pulls a spear from off his back and smile. And you see her as she goes, "Time to fight." She fires off a shot heading your direction. Let's see which one she's aiming for. Coming at you, Samson.
Every time. I swear.
You're the biggest target.
It makes sense. But no, I believe you, Brian. I'm not.
That's a nat 20, isn't it?
Ah, shit.
What a
That's a
rollicking
nice.
good start.
Good thing I took my hit die twice, 2 of them.
So she fires this bow at you, and it enters into your shoulder.
For 300 points of damage.
Not quite. Shouldn't be that many.
Close.
298. It's not that bad. See?
13 points of damage. As it
Oh, that ain't shit.
strikes into your shoulder and sticks in. The other male, or the male, brings up his spear and says, "Come on up these stairs. Show me what you're worth." And that's actually where he's going to stand there. So, Ryland, what do you do?
So the guy, can you describe him to me again?
Sure. He is a large, probably 6'4", big man wearing armor, a large helmet, and very well built. And he has a black gauntlet in one hand.
Okay.
And he's holding a spear currently.
Okay. I'm going to try to cast Rave Sickness on him.
Okay.
So that's in spell attack. Does a 21 hit?
Sure does.
Okay, so Rylan like pulls out his orb, and this greenish black cloud starts to swirl inside the orb before shooting out into a beam directly at this guy as Rylan says, "Oblivion Beam!" and casts it into him. And that's going to be... What is that? It's 2d8... 7 and 2, so 9 points of poison damage. Also, can he make a Constitution saving throw of 13?
Con. That is a natural 20.
Okay. Then he's just good. He just takes the damage.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so this orb kind of flies out, and it's just this, as you described it, flying at him, and you see it kind of...
No, it's like a beam that shoots at the orb.
just a straight beam.
Yeah, just...
Okay, cool. Oh, cool. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that ray just flies up into him, and he kind of staggers back, and and you hear him start to kind of cough, and like his throat kind of clenches up. Take him out first, and his voice kind of chokes up as he goes to speak.
I don't want to hear that.
And if I remember the order right, I didn't write it down correctly. I think Eleanora was next. I think.
Yeah,
I rolled
Samson and I
7.
both got 8s.
Yeah.
And because of how you guys are staggered, I'm putting Samson first
I'm
because
just
I think it'll be
gonna-
funnier.
Oh man, not again.
Oh no.
No.
I'm glad she didn't make a decision and all that.
They advanced on us, did they? They're like,
Nope, they're behind the altar. Like, they're half behind the altar. I was going to give you guys a -2, or them a +2 to their AC, but I'm not going.
It's a bit excessive.
Is it? That's half cover, buddy.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know about that, Chief.
focus for a second. And it catches fire, and she's gonna throw it and cast firebolt towards. Let's go with the chick with the bow.
All right.
Not natural. Does that hit?
You cut in and out so bad there. I'm sorry.
20, not natural.
Sorry. 20. Does that hit? Not natural.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Thank God.
Sweet. 4 damage.
All right. So, yeah, and you said that was a firebolt?
Yep.
All right, yeah. So you cast it out. This blue flame extends out, going down, and it strikes her. Her armor. You see it kind of fade over her armor, but you see as it kind of burns into her face, and and then my armor, and you see it start to heat up and almost blew her armor up a little bit, and then Samson or Eleanor, do you want to do anything else?
Unless I can sort of like duck behind that little pillar, maybe.
The one in the
like just in the entrance.
Yep, absolutely, you could do that.
Yep. Sweet.
All right.
And Samson?
So I'm gonna rage. So let me just go in and
Cool.
mark that off quick. And then I'm gonna pull out a javelin.
From where?
Ooh.
What do you mean? I have one in my backpack.
Yeah, where are you pulling it out of?
My backpack. Like this.
What are you doing with Samson?
He is Samson.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry, what are you doing,
Fillmore.
Fillmore?
Tell Fillmore to hand you the javelin.
He's on your shoulders.
Oh, true. Yeah, I'm gonna Fillmore, get the javelin from my back.
Impeding into my turn is all that gonna be.
I don't know.
Give me
Yeah,
the javelin, or I'm
sure.
throwing you over.
Oh, here, and I like kind of try to point it the right way and everything.
Yep.
Load it up
Huge
for him like
for-
he's a cannon.
Yeah.
And
Load
then
the
I'm
harpoons.
going to attempt to hit the guy with the helmet on.
All right.
He's a
Uh,
bitch.
you're gonna be at disadvantage on the stack roll.
Oh, epic.
Nah, that's what I call epic.
Sorry.
Double nat 20s right here. Check this out. Double 18s. What?
It's real
Okay.
promo.
So, does that hit?
18 plus.
Oh, don't play that game.
18 plus 5. Does
Yeah, that hits.
hit?
It does.
Just barely.
Alrighty.
Just enough.
6 points of damage.
All right. So you toss this javelin, kind of, Fillmore, you struggle to pull it out from underneath of him. You put it over his shoulder and hand it to him. Now you pick this up, this javelin. You flip it over, Samson. You pull your torch to one side. You manage to gain your balance on the limestone floor with Fillmore, kind of throwing you off balance on your back. Line up your shot and fire it. It does fly up beautifully, goes over the altar and strikes into his side, and then goes through his chainmail and kind of sticks in for a second, then falls off. He kind of, that's a hell of a throw. We could use you here.
And then I'm going to duck behind a pillar.
The same one Eleanora's ducking behind?
No, the opposite side.
Okay.
I don't know. Another one. Just because I
Another
have
one.
Fillmore on my back, I want to kind of protect him here.
Are you going to kind of advance forward because that one closer to the altar?
Yeah.
Okay. Phil. Samson's walking closer to the altar. What do you do?
Samson's like moving. I don't know if he's like raging, running, or jogging up to the thing or whatever. I imagine
Yep.
that any
Oh,
movement
he's angrily going, yeah.
Yeah. Like, holding on to, I don't know, maybe his hair or his ears or something like that. Just basically to try to keep balance. And then once he stops moving, he's going to steady himself and pull out his little, what is it? That little wind up crossbow, not crossbow, but the launcher that I have for firebolt.
Yeah,
Just basically shoots.
striker. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You're
And,
also
like,
at disadvantage for the attack.
Steady that up, and then I'll just shoot one of those.
Unless you're proficient in riding humans.
I didn't pick that feat up.
Right.
Damn it.
Okay. Yep. So I need
I'd
you
say
to be at
that's.
disadvantage for that.
I'd say that's land vehicles.
A 2 plus whatever. 5, 7 total.
Yeah. So you, it's not so much that you don't even that you miss. It's more of a, as you're kind of struggling about, you go to strike it and it kind of goes off kilter and just kind of throws to the side. It never even strikes the match. There's no spark. There's no anything. Do you want to do anything else?
I think that I can. Yeah, where are we at now? You said we kind of went closer to the. No, I'm still. Yeah, I'll just hang out here on Samson's shoulders.
Okay. After that, the woman is going to kind of duck down on the right side of the altar. And she's going to line up her next shot, aiming for Ryland.
Just standing there in the middle.
All the way in the back.
Just vibing.
Also, after being ordered to fire at him. That is an 18 to hit.
I'm gonna use shield.
Okay.
Yeah, so as this bolt's flying at him, Rylan just kind of is like, shadow barrier, and a purplish black like pod bursts and like kind of surrounds him, and it's this very shadowy like cloak, almost this like shadow pod, and the shadows are like swirling around. It almost flows like water, and the bolt just goes and like almost sticks there for a second before just drawing down and falling.
Cool.
But yeah, that would have boosted my AC to 20.
Cool. Yep. So it strikes in, fades to the ground. The other one, the bigger man, looks over and trying to gain a point of better position. Smart. Well, come at me. I'll wait here. And he steps around toward the front end of the altar, holding a spear in hand, 2 hands. Ryland, what do you do?
I think I'm gonna cast a chromatic orb at the woman.
All right.
An orb of lightning. Let's go with.
Cool.
And yeah, so
He'll jump up. Good night.
so that's a 10. So let's just say the orb just starts like sparking and then just dies out.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, you conjure it up and the orb starts to spark and then you kind of lose focus on it. After just, all this intimidation, the bolt just flying your way, you're kind of shaking a little bit as you're getting ready to re-engage yourself in the battle. Eleanora, what do you do? Or Brown, do you want to move or anything? You stay.
Yeah, I should probably move. I'll go somewhere. Pillar Town.
Which one?
I'll just go up the closest one. If Eleanor's there, then just strut up. Hi.
So yeah, there's the one towards the start of the room. It's about wide enough for one person, all of them,
Bruh.
and about 10 foot tall.
I'll just turn around and leave.
Do
There's
these
the
pillars have a top to them, or do they floor to ceiling?
They're floor to ceiling.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
And then
Aw.
the other pillar on the south end of the room, Cole, is kind of leading towards those 2 bends. There's the one at the north part of the western part of the room before the stairs up that is taken up by Samson and Fillmore. And then there's the one at the southwestern portion of that is open. So southeast and southwest are both open.
Well, I don't think moving closer is really a good move. So I guess I'll literally just stand there.
You can go to the southeast one.
But then there's 2 openings, and then I can get
Right.
ganked. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna stand there.
Okay. Cool. All right, Eleanora.
Okay. I'm gonna run. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna run across to the southeastern pillar.
Mhm.
Just to try and get a different angle on these guys. And then cast another firebolt at the girl.
All right.
11.
This one, you conjure it up and you fire it up, and she sees this one coming. As you go darting across, you fire it off with your staff. The flame kind of flies at her, and she brings up her shield and just kind of glances across her shield.
Yep.
Anything else?
That's about all I can do.
All right. Samson. Fillmore, it's on your shoulders. You're behind this pillar. The man is challenging you. Taunting you.
Well, first I'm gonna peek my head out. I'm gonna very politely ask him, "May I ask what your name is?" I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours.
Yignath, now come on, fight me.
Would this be a duel situation? Myself versus yourself?
What's on the line? Just our lives? I'll take what you have anyway. I get what
I'll
I
trade
want.
him. He can
Servant.
be useful.
Sure. Either way, you're all going to die today.
Oh my god. All right, I'll step out
Talking
then.
about me?
Yeah.
You motherfucker. You're trying to plan
Oh
my
no.
next turn, and you're trying to sell me off.
Bruh.
I'm betting on your life.
Ugh.
All right, so I guess I'll approach forward,
Walking at the altar?
walking at the altar. I'll still have him on my back here, but since
I'll
we're
mop it
up
off.
on the altar, I'm gonna I'll
fuck.
hop him off since there's no water there.
Oh, so you're going to put him down?
Yeah.
All right, so that is your bonus action this round, would be getting Fillmore off your shoulders.
All right, well, I still have an attack, right?
You do. However, as you walk up to him, he brings his spear and just jams it right at you. That is a 14 to hit.
Hold on. Actually, let me check on that one. It's a no, sir. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, no, sir.
All right, yeah. So he brings it up and goes to stab into you, and you manage to bring your sword. And as soon as you draw it out, you bring it down and kind of clash with the spear and knock it out of his, knock him to the side with it.
Nice try, sire. Not today.
This will be a challenge. Go ahead.
So I do get attack,
Mhm.
and then I'll rebuttal with the long sword.
Mhm.
Oh baby, oh baby, 23. Does that hit?
It does.
Alrighty, awesome. Can you guys hear the bottle crunching?
Yeah.
Crunching.
Mhm.
That's my dog. He likes chewing on
Lit.
bottles.
Um,
Yeah, I get. Oh, I'm trying to do the math here because I'm not so smart.
Really playing the character.
Thank you. 12 damage.
All right. Yeah, so you bring the sword kind of down into him. After you swipe it to the side, you bring it back up and slash into him. He's wearing this chainmail, and you manage to cut across his stomach, and this large gash kind of opens up through his clothing, through his the padding that they wear underneath, and it starts bleeding. And he, that's it, Kazira, get him! And she literally leaps the altar and will take a swing at you with her mace. She's going to pull it off her back and bring it straight down. They have an ability that allows them to do this. So, 1 second. That is a 21 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
It's 4 points of damage.
Oh, sick.
So
Six.
she brings it down. You see her coming, and she jumps into you, cleaves down, but you manage to kind of pull your arm up in time, and it just crushes into your arm. You feel the pain through your arm. You also have resistance to bludgeoning damage because you're raging. So
Is that
it's only 2 points of damage. And you feel this crushing pain in your arm for a second, but you manage to shake that off. Now they're both right in front of you. Samson Fillmore, what do? You just got set down on the steps there, so.
basically, are they up towards the back of that, or is the
They're at
circle
the
thing?
front of the altar now, so.
So that's the rectangle with the 2 dots.
Yep.
I know I'm not trying to use the map so much, just trying to figure out where I'm at.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Okay. So there's at least 10 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, between you and
Well,
them. Yep.
all right, I'll do that. Or I'll use firebolt again, is what I was thinking in my head.
Okay.
But yeah, essentially just pull the thing out again and fire my little firebolt mechanism at it. This is regular, right? Not disadvantage or anything.
Correct.
Okay. Fucking
Doesn't matter.
12? 12? Yeah.
Who are you aiming
Total.
for?
12?
The probably the bigger dude, just because he seemed to have been hit a few more times, and yeah.
So you go to strike this thing, and as you line up your shot and you fire it off, this is just as that girl comes across the altar and swings the mace down Samson. So he kind of moves to the side and puts his arm up to block it, and you notice that, and you kind of pull your shot a little bit, and it goes over his head because you would have hit him instead of the large Iron Man.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I can't do anything else really. I guess I'll just try to make as small of a silhouette as I can.
Yeah. You kind of duck to the corner if you'd like.
Yeah.
Not really stealthing, so you're just gonna kind of hang out there, see if they start aiming for you. You haven't really called any attention to yourself at this point either, though, so that's good. So Kazira, the female, she is going to bring up her mace again, Samson, and swing it down at you. That is a 8 to hit.
No, sir.
And then he will bring up his spear again, and now he's going to try to jam it into you with a 11 hit.
Nope.
And both of these, you manage to. She brings the mace up. You parry that with your sword, and then see him coming with his spear, and you manage to kind of strike the shaft of his spear, and kind of splinter into the wood and everything as you shove him back a little bit.
Do you know how many rounds we played so far since I raged? Is it 3?
3.
All right.
Ryland.
Out of the trash can.
See Samson getting swung at.
Mm-hmm.
Times Fillmore kind of ducking to the side of the steps. Eleanora is kind of darting behind you from pole to pole, and you just standing in the center, kind of taking it all in.
Okay. So is that old boy pole open now, or what's up?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm gonna head over,
All right.
and I'm there. Then I'm gonna toll the dead, the big guy. Wisdom save 13.
Right. They have advantage.
Oh, they're very wise.
Not because it's a wisdom saving throw, just in general. But that is a 11.
That is not enough. So he takes a nice. He's already been hurt, yeah?
Yeah.
He takes a nice D12 then. If my small, tiny brain can figure out where my D12 is. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's 6 points of necrotic damage on this man.
So the book clasps shut, and there's a just in the air. You guys all hear it because the room does have an echo to it. But you see him kind of step forward, Samson, and the larger man. He kind of puts his head to his helmet and this thunderous noise, and then just kind of stands back up, and you're not able to see his facial features. You just his voice in his helm making this, and that brings his spear back up. Anything else for your turn around?
Nope. I'm happy where I am.
All right, Eleanora. You're on the southeastern pole now.
I'm in the southeastern pole.
Mhm.
On the map, how big are the squares roughly, just so I can have an idea of
5 feet.
Okay, so it would be pushing 30 feet for those guys to be standing in front of the altar. I'm gonna move to the pillar that's in front of me.
You can get to the altar if you wanted to this turn.
I don't want to. I don't want to get that close.
I don't want no piece of that.
I don't want to get that close to them, but I'm just going to move that little bit closer.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to cast another firebolt
Okay.
towards the lady. 19, so that's like a 24 to hit.
That hits.
Keep losing my dice. 10 points! Fuck yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, so this one, as she brings her mace down, her shield comes up and she swings it at Samson, and he kind of parries it to the side, and then she looks up and sees this fire just flying at her, and she has no time to react as it just strikes her in the face and kind of throws her back against the altar, and you see her face immediately start to turn red and then kind of welt up. Samson, you see the blister immediately start to form as this literally leaves some charred marks on her face and everything. Eleanor, anything else you want to do?
No, I'm good, thanks.
And Samson, these two swinging away at you.
All right, so the woman,
Mhm.
where is she positioned at?
They're both side to side of you.
So she's not on top of the altar or anything?
No, she literally leaped the altar to strike you in the very first place. So she was over the altar already.
Alrighty, well, I'm going to take my sword and try to stab her with it.
Okay.
And I'm going to frenzy after that.
Okay.
So, and I'll go after the other guy with that. You're not going to believe it, Brian. I got a 1 again. I'm going to start lying about it soon, honestly. The amount of fucking times. Yeah, so I don't hit her.
How many nat ones was that tonight? 3?
I think, yeah.
All right. I'm going to give you inspiration after this round.
Fun coin.
All right, awesome. Now, I rolled a nat 1. Are you going to take away my frenzy for this one, or no?
No, you're good. So you go to stab into her, but she brings her shield up and just kind of thrusts into the shield, and she takes the blow and then pushes you back. But as she pushes you back, you bring your sword back up and you're going to swing into the other guy.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Your rage just flowing through you. You feel your anger just pulsing. Your life's in danger. Your friends' lives are in danger.
It's a 13 hit?
Doesn't. You swing. You're swinging wildly as you swing overhand, and he manages to duck underneath of it, and then starts to bring his spear up to try and jab it in you, laughing. He does bring the spear up, but Fillmore, what do you do?
At this point, I'm just kind of in panic mode and just
Firing away. All right.
Any chance he gets to firebolt, he's just like, I can't do anything else. It's a 19 plus 5.
Yep.
24.
Who you hitting?
The same guy I was going after. Sorry.
Okay.
The more damaged. Well, I don't know about damage, but it seemed like he got hit more.
Yeah, I mean, if from what you can see, that wound is bleeding pretty profusely, and you know he was just complaining about a noise in his head, but you don't know exactly what that did to him. You have a pretty good idea.
2 points of fire damage.
All right. So yeah, that's kind of you've fired up, and it's you managed to strike it. It sparks up, flying, and hits him back in the side again, whereas wounds already were. And you hear the crackle of the blood as it's kind of spatters for a second from the flame, and then you see the edges of the wound kind of blacken for a second, and then the blood begins to flow again freely. Anything else?
No, just hoping. Yeah, same thing. Just kind of small silhouette, like not hiding or anything, but like just yeah.
All right. Yep.
I am out.
So Kazira is going to continue bringing her mace down. No, actually, Eleanor hit her last round, so she's going to turn away from you, but she's just going to pull the bow out instead and fire. She's not going to move away. And that, Leonora, that's 22 to hit with the bow.
Yep, that hits.
I was going to say you have a +2 to your AC from your cover, but I think that still hits, right? That's 16 AC then?
Yeah, that would still hit.
Okay.
She's a good shot.
Yeah. And that is... that's not bad. 4 points of damage. As it,
Maybe she just like hit my tail or something.
Yeah, well, no, it kind of grazes across you, and it just slices you on its way past. It doesn't strike you. More or less, what it does to you is causes a lot of fear. She is now aiming at you, and you're feeling this anxiety of, you're in the heat of a battle again. The lack of confidence starts to come back. The lack of experience, you're starting to feel that again, and it's kind of taking its toll on you. Ryland. So what do you got going on? Oh, I'm sorry. Big guy didn't. Yeah. Okay, so he starts to bring his spear up to you, Samson, after that errant swing, and he would have advantage on that attack roll. That is a 23 to hit.
Yeah. Piercing damage?
It is... Yep.
Epic.
Another 2 points of damage.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of jams it in you and doesn't quite get through the plate as he jams it up, and you just feel the point kind of jam into you. It knocks the wind out of you more than it does anything else for a second. It just kind of takes your breath away, but it only manages to tip into you. All right, now Ryland, what are you up to back there?
Yeah, now I'm gonna try to chill touch the big guy.
All right.
For an 11 to hit, money.
So when you're going to conjure up the spell, and you're doing your incantation, but with everything going on, the noise, the clanking of the metal, everything going on there, you can't get a focus on what you're trying to pull, and you see the hand kind of come up, but you can't focus enough on the spell to get it to wrap fully around him and begin to experience it. Samson, you begin to feel a little bit of that necrotic energy, though, that soul-sucking energy for a second fades. Anything else, Rylan?
No. Nah, I'm chilling.
Okay. All right, Eleanor.
Okay. Being absolutely fucking terrified. She's gonna I'm gonna duck back behind the pillar for a second and sort of try and compose myself, and then spin out from behind it and cast. Ooh. Sorry, was roll 20? I just want to get some distance. It would be like 10, 15. Ooh, like just out of range. I'm gonna sort of rush forward and cast Burning Hands. So I put my hands out. I'm just gonna go as far as I need to be in range, because it's 15 feet, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And each creature in a 15-foot cone. I'm aiming at the chick that's fired at me, but I'm guessing it would get everyone in that
all
little
three
cluster.
of them. Yep.
Must make a dexterity saving throw, but I'm going to spend a sorcery point. And use careful spell, so Samson
automatically succeeds.
Cool. All right, so yeah. 15-foot cone. And where do you run up to?
I'd probably, to be 15 feet away, I'd want them to hit probably about
almost the base of the stairs would probably get me close enough.
Okay. So yeah, you run up in this panic and fear. You cast out this spell. That's a 1. I'm sorry, he has advantage, so that's a 4 and a 12.
Ooh, DC is 13, so they both hit.
Yeah.
Wait,
And
do I take
they
half damage
both-
or?
You take
you
half
take
damage.
half damage. So the 3d6 I rolled was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
All right. So Rylan, you see Eleanora come. She kind of, and then runs out. She stomps through the water, runs up to the bottom of the steps, and forces her hands out. This giant cone of fire energy comes out of her hands. This blue cylindrical cone of just awesome fire just kind of comes out. It starts twirling and it engulfs Samson, the large man, the woman, and the guy behind the altar. As this cone goes over all of them, as the flame fades, Eleanor, you feel this surge, and suddenly I need you to roll a D100.
What do I have to roll for it to be safe?
You don't get a safety thing.
It fell off the table. So do I roll the percentage die and also like a D10?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well it's gonna be 88.
88.
Shit, what does that do?
I need you to roll a D4.
Oh, I lost that one. Hold on. 4.
All right. So you feel, so you cast out this flame and it spins. Samson, you throw yourself kind of to the side. You feel the flame kind of engulf you for a second, and you just feel the wind kind of gets sucked out of you. That you lose your breath for a second as it kind of burns you. You feel this warm heat, but it doesn't, singe you or anything. The other two, as it throws them back against the altar, the two of them scream out in pain as they fall to the ground. They literally, you smell their bodies being charred, and the man behind the altar screams out as well. After the flame clears, the man behind the altar is also seen there, chained up, dangling, charred skin on his face and his chest, and the two on the altar are slumped over. The man's helmet falls off, his face seared and burned, and Ryland, you find yourself floating in the air.
Okay.
What?
And that is where we're going to end it.
Oh my goodness!
Floating?
I had to be a wild sorceress.
I gotta figure out what that one was.
Well, this is exciting.
Oh no, you don't get to look it up.
Sorry.
I'm not using the standard table, Katie.
Oh, really?
It's lit.
But I really like the one on the table that gets you a unicorn.
Oh,
I was really hoping that would happen in hell.
Mid-May.
Well.
Shit.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Dapper DnD's Descent into Avernus. Please check out our Wildmount campaign. We're having a lot of fun there. This has been a great time so far. Can't wait to see how all of you react next week to everything that's going on right now. Katie, careful when you use that Tides of Chaos. Rylan, I hope you're enjoying your little bit of flight there. And Samson and Fillmore, enjoy the show. Here we are heading into next week. I'm excited, guys. So anyone that watches this, thank you for checking us out. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Please keep in touch, follow along, comment, whatever you want to do. Let us know that you watched it. We'd love to hear from you. I've only had a few people reach out, but it's awesome with a couple people that have. So that's awesome to hear. I really want to, get to know everyone that's actually watching the show. I think that's cool. Whether you're a friend of Bill's, friend of Katie's, friend of Elliot's, friend of Cole's, doesn't matter. I want to hear from you because this has been a lot of fun. So thanks for checking us out. And if you guys don't have anything, good to go.
Good to go.
All right. Until next time, stay dapper, my friends.